You tapping in real quick, something light, nothing major. Peace and blessings and all that. You know what I'm talking about? Hopefully everybody's Tuesday has kicked off properly and all is going according to plan. You know what I'm talking about? It was a bit chilly out earlier. It was a bit gloomy out earlier too over here. You know what I'm talking about? Due to the fact that it rained last night and left everything wet and a fucking mess outside. But it is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Mother Nature and all that. The clouds have started to break. The sun has started to peak, and that weather is starting to creep. You know what I'm talking about? So we gonna see what this day turns into. But fuck all that. Real shit, real quick. I was tending to the comments per usual, as I normally do. And one thing that blows my mind every time, man. It gets a good laugh out of me too. But I just can't seem to wrap my mind around why is when individuals tap in and want to express their frustration based off of the fact that I may have offered a parlay option that fell short via one leg at the end of the night. You know what I'm talking about? Stop it. Stop it, man. These are parlay options based off of my personal opinion and sometimes yours. You know what I'm talking about? And if I'm redundant as fuck about applying the swap out option, and you go and you put the parlay in, but you don't duplicate the ticket and apply the swap out option, as recommended, that's a self-inflicted wound. At the end of the night, if that ticket doesn't cash via that fight, that's a self-inflicted wound. I was redundant as fuck. You know what I'm talking about? Because first and foremost, what? It's a parlay channel, man, where I do my absolute best as to provide the absolute best parlay options. Parlay options for the prelims, parlay options for the main card, parlay options for the whole card, parlay options for them haymaker and Hail Mary tosses, parlay options for them all favorites, parlay options with the swap out options, parlay options for the underdogs, dog plays. I mean, I'll be in the kitchen cooking when it comes to these parlay videos, but they are very much so just what? Parlay options based off of my personal opinion and sometimes yours. And what I mean by sometimes yours is, well, sometimes some of y'all are on the other side of some of my picks. Rightfully so. Understandably so. When I upload my picks, prior to doing so, I can look at them and say, shit, we're going to talk about that one. I know we're going to conversate about that. They definitely going to tap in about this one. And boy, we're going to talk about this one right here all week. I'm not going to hear the end of this one. But fuck it. Let's go. Because that's what makes this shit so great. That's what makes these interactions so great. When I upload my picks, and I know it's a few of these shits that just aren't going to sit right with some of y'all. Solid. Because then y'all going to tap in and tell me why they don't sit right with y'all. And then we're going to go back and forth. Respectfully so, standing on our picks, dice is rolled, willing to see where they lay, and to be determined. You know what I'm talking about? And that shit's love, man. That shit's love. That's what this is all about. If I was just siding with all of the same individuals that most of these other individuals are siding with and picking all favorites, what the fuck will we talk about? What will we tap in and chop it up about? What will we have to go back and forth about to make this shit a bit more interesting come fight night? You know what I'm talking about? Absolutely nothing, because I would just be doing what everybody else is doing, and that's not something I want to do. You know what I'm talking about? That is not something I want to do in any way, shape, form, or fashion, man. Over here in the doghouse, Fresh Start Mixed Martial Arts, this is supposed to be an authentic experience. You know what I'm talking about? You're not supposed to be tapping in over here and hearing shit similar to what you heard over there. You're not supposed to be hearing the same vocabulary, the same nothing, man. This is me. This is me. We in the doghouse. This is Fresh Start Mixed Martial Arts. This is Chris, motherfucker. And I stand on my picks. I stand on my shit. But I also properly prepare us for being on the wrong side of some of them shits as far as parlay placement is concerned, man. So while I'm cooking in this motherfucking kitchen, these parlay videos up for y'all, man. Because it's for y'all. It's not just for me, man. As you can see, when I put these parlays together, they don't all just coincide with my picks. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I mean by my personal opinion. And sometimes y'all, because I tap in, y'all tap in, we converse, we go back and forth. I feel, I see, you know, I get to seeing how strongly you feel about something. And sometimes, you know, I don't even want to involve a fight. Or I don't even want to, you know, thinking about applying a swap out option to a fight. But at the end of the night, it's not all about me. I started this channel for us, you know what I'm talking about? And it's a lot of the us's, it's a lot of y'all on the other side of the video, you know what I'm talking about, that want a certain fight involved, or, you know what I'm talking about, want action on all these favorites, or, you know, or on the other side of certain picks that I just wouldn't really see myself being on the other side of, so I don't apply the swap out option to them, or I don't even talk about them. Based off of all of that, now I apply the swap out option to them. Now I talk about them. Now they're in the all favorites mix. Now I'm doing an all significance favorites parlay. Now I'm doing all this, that, and the third. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because it's parlay options for us based off of my personal opinion and sometimes yours. Because it's not just for me. It's for us. You understand what I'm saying to you? But this is all, you know, this is all stress free. You know what I'm talking about? Because it should be anyway. You know what I'm talking about? It absolutely should be, man. Because, like I said, when y'all tap in, I enjoy those interactions, the genuine ones. And what I mean by the genuine ones is I can tell when you tap in and you're telling me how you genuinely feel about a fight, how you view that fight, how you look at that fight, how you see the many possible different variations of outcomes and the way that that fight can possibly take place, but you're standing on who you standing on. Like I can, when I'm reading that, I can feel that, I can sense that, you know what I'm talking about? But when I read the ones that are not genuine, and what I mean by not genuine is, prior to me starting this channel, I watched a lot of these other parlay, a lot of these other prediction channels. You understand what I'm saying to you? I know they've been around for a long time. The homies just put me on to them not that long ago. I started my YouTube channel. You know what I'm talking about? You know, last November. So I've been on YouTube for a year now. I started making my predictions at the end of March, going into April. So I've been doing predictions for about 8 months now. You understand what I'm saying to you? But what I mean by, and what all that was said for, is that I watched quite a few of these prediction channels. You know what I'm talking about? It's why I started mine. But I watched quite a few of these prediction channels. So when I know how they talk, I know their handles. You understand what I'm saying to you? I know how they express themselves and the kind of vocabularies that these certain individuals tend to use. You understand what I'm saying to you? So when you tap in over here and you come in my comment section and you're telling me how you feel about a fight, but you didn't switch up it. I mean, you're like a dummy. You're coming to me word for word what you heard from the prediction channel that you're coming from. I can see that. As I'm reading it, I know I can damn near almost always put faces and names to what channel you just came from. You know what I'm talking about? I don't watch them now, but I watched them before. I know they handle. I know they vocabulary. I know how they go about presenting themselves. So when you tap in over here and attempt to come at one of my picks, I know when it's genuine, and I know when it's word for word coming from another prediction channel. I can see right through it. You not slick. You just making yourself look like a fucking dummy. You know what I'm talking about? Because now I know you genuinely don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You really genuinely don't have no strong feelings about this fight, because that's word for word what you just heard last night or earlier tonight or right before you came over to my fucking channel. And I know just by reading it and how it was worded, pretty much where you came from and who you heard it from. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because like I said, prior to me starting my channel, the reason I started my channel is because I used to tap into some of these other channels. You know what I'm talking about? The homies put me on to it. You know what I mean? And I was already doing my little bets, not predictions, but making my predictions and placing my bets. You feel what I'm saying to you? But then the homies was like, couple motherfuckers that they go on YouTube and watch. So I went on YouTube and started watching them. You know what I mean? But I don't know about you. For me, I would go for certain fights. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I look at a card, I like who I like. And I have question marks. And those fights that I had question marks on, from one side or the other, or both, those were the fights I would go to YouTube and search certain channels for, and, check check their temperature on them fights and see what their insight was looking like. You know what I'm talking about? But more times than not, like, if my gut was kind of like leaning towards this motherfucker, but I had questions, so I want to go see. The more I would see and tap into these other individuals, they all kind of seem to be talking the same shit. The same vocabulary, the same kind of wording, the same kind of, like, they're just talking about it all the same. And it's all leaning this way, which is the opposite way of what I was leaning when I came to tap into these channels. So I'm telling myself, okay, maybe this is, they're all sounding the same. They all kind of saying the same MMA bad. They're all like using the same words and shit. You know what I mean? Like, maybe this is the right way to go. You know what I mean? Like, all these motherfuckers kind of seem like this is the right way to go. The shit they're saying is kind of making a bit of fucking sense to me. You know what I mean? So, all right, let me sway this way. And more times than not, they swayed me the wrong fucking way. You know what I'm talking about? I was swayed the wrong way, man. You know what I'm talking about? So I stopped, because not only was I getting swayed the wrong way, but they was asking me to pay for their parlays. Like, if I wanted to see what they was parlaying, I had to pay for that shit. I had to follow a link. I had to get a subscription for that night, for the week of that night. You know what I mean? For that night, for the week, or for the month. You know what I mean? It was like, pay a subscription fee if you want to see my parlays, if you want to see my, most confident picks, if you want to see my safe plays, if you want to see this, that, or the third, you have to follow this and you have to pay for it. And in the midst of all of this, me dropping links and telling you to follow it and pay for it, I'm also drowning your fucking ears with hit, smack, smash, tap, do something to that like button, hit that go fucking subscribe, smack on that the bell for the notification. I'm on my way to, this many motherfucking notifications. I mean, this many subscribers. Let's see how fast we can get there. Help me get there, y'all. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on, man. With all due respect, and I say this with all due respect, man, I'm not paying for nobody's fucking personal opinion. You understand what I'm saying to you? I am not paying for nobody's personal opinion, man. It's not happening. I'm not paying for your safe parlay that might come in at minus 117 or minus 162 or minus 189. Like, I'm not doing it, dog. It's not happening, with all due respect. And I do not expect anybody to pay for mine. You understand what I'm saying to you? Since I've been doing this, do you know how many motherfuckers have tapped in and inquired as to where the fuck my donation button is? Because, yo, bro, the parlay smacked and significantly so last night. I'm up stacks off of like $50. I'm just trying to bless you. You blessed me. I'm trying to get that, let you eat a little piece, man. You deserve that. Nah, I'm good, man. You tapping in and let me know you secured stacks off of, a few dollars. That is payment enough for me, because that lets me know I held down my end of the bargain. That's what I started this channel for, was so that we could get to the bag in some way, shape, form, or fashion at the end of the night, whether it was a prelim, main card, whole card, haymaker, Hail Mary. Maybe none of that shit hit and it was a dog play, but in some way, shape, form, or fashion, we are able to get to the bag and secure that motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about? That is the whole reason I did this. So when you tap in and ask me where my donation button is, it don't exist. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it won't. Moving forward, it never has, and it's not going to. I stand on that the same way I stood on that the very first time I was asked about it. You understand what I'm saying to you? Jokers have tapped in and inquired about that. Jokers have tapped in and, why have you not monetized the YouTube channel, like, in any way, shape, form, or fashion? What's happening? Because I'm not here to monetize this. I'm not even a premium YouTube member. You understand what I'm saying to you, man? I'm not here for not near none of that shit, man. And not near one of y'all have ever heard me ever. Not near, never, not in one of these videos ever have I ever wasted not even 1 minute, not even 1 second asking y'all for anything, man. Never asked y'all for anything. Not one like, not one subscriber, not one nothing, man. I don't want nothing from y'all, man. All I want to do is look in that comment section and see individuals tap in and talk about how they was able to secure a bag in some way, shape, form, or fashion. That's all I want. That's the only payment I'm looking for, is that I held up my end of the bargain as far as proper parlay placement is concerned. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's it. That's all. Nothing else. Fuck the rest. You know what I mean? Making somebody pay for my personal opinion, making somebody pay for my personal parlays, then I would understand you tapping in, expressing your frustration, and rightfully so. I'd have nothing else to do but rub that shit in my chest. You know what I'm talking about? But I don't want that stress. I don't want that stress. So y'all shouldn't be putting no motherfucking stress on me. This shit right here should be stress free. You know what I'm talking about? Stress free. Parlay options based off of my personal opinion. They either for you or they not. You can either run with them or run from them. The choice is yours, man. The choice is yours. But I be cooking in this kitchen when it comes to these parlay videos. You know what I'm talking about? And that's free work, man. That's free work. If none of it resonates with you, on to the next one. Tap out and go on about your business. You know what I'm talking about? And you know, go get your premium parlay at minus 167 or something. With all due respect, man. The homies have told me, man. The homies, man, listen, I fuck with you, K. You know, that's why I call you every week. Because, you know, I pay these subscription fees and these premium fees. And, you know, I get these safe parlays, man. And, I mean, some of these parlays have rang in at minus 117, plus 119, plus 180 something. I think the highest motherfucker, you know, parlay, you know, motherfucker, gave out on the shit that my man was on was like around almost close, you know, 3 times his money or something like that. And that shit didn't hit. So what the fuck I look like? Taxing anybody for anything in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And again, I say this shit with all due respect. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not the rest of them, man. You know what I mean? When you come over here, the Fresh Start Mixed Martial Arts, and you're in the doghouse, this is an authentic experience, man. You know what I'm talking about? We pearling them up. We firing them up. We burning them down. We chopping it up. We talking our shit. We running through these cars from bottom to top. One more again, real quick. Something light, nothing major. Man, we staying official over this motherfucker, man. Huh? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, whole lot of nothing. Stop playing with me, man. You know what I'm talking about? All day, every day, even on Sunday. I'm going to give it to you the same fucking way. You know what I'm talking about? I just, you know, appreciate when motherfuckers give it to me just as authentically. You understand what I'm saying to you? If you going to come over here and chime in on my channel about one of my picks and, you know, speak passionately about that shit, I'm all for that. But if you going to chime in over here and tap in on one of my picks and act as if you're speaking passionately about that shit, you need to know I can see through it. I know where you're coming from and who you're getting your information from. You understand what I'm saying to you? There's nothing authentic about it. There's nothing genuine about it. And it just makes you look like a fucking fool that honestly doesn't know what he's talking about and has no fucking business being in these conversations in the first place. You understand what I'm saying to you? But I will say this again, man. You know, before I tap out and go about my business. First and foremost, this is a parlay channel, man. And I do what? My absolute best as to provide y'all with the absolute best parlay options based off of my personal opinion and sometimes yours, man. You know what I'm talking about? As far as these picks are concerned, with the right to wrong ratio, I'm not so much worried about that. It's a parlay channel. I will properly prepare us for being on the wrong side of said picks. As long as the proper parlay placement is intact, that's all that matters, man. You know what I'm talking about? For me, over here, that's all that matters. Not so much the right to wrong ratio as it is the parlay placements. You know what I'm talking about? Because if I'm wrong on a pick, but my parlay placement hits, that's all that fucking matters at the end of the night. You know what I'm talking about? So it is what it is, man. And I say that everything that I've said, I say with all due respect to all these other channels, man. You know what I'm talking about? We just different. That's just all there is to it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not here for the reasons you here for. That's just all there is to it. And that's why we different. You know what I'm talking about? We approach this shit different. You figured, me? I'm not looking for nothing from nobody. I'm content. These are personal opinions and parlay options based off of personal opinions and picks and predictions based off of personal opinions. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? There are no locks. There are no locks, regardless of how confident we are and how much we stand on picks. There are no locks. Shai Ming and Gabby proved that shit last week. You know what I'm talking about? Biggest underdog I've ever cashed on at plus 850 was Shayna Dobson, and she proved that shit back in, you know, almost 5-6 years ago now, right? You know what I mean? Like 2019, 18, when she was on the card with Frankie Eggert, and Frankie Eggert fought Pedro Munoz in the main event because I had him via decision, and I had Shayna Dobson at plus 850. I obliterated that card. You know what I'm talking about? But these underdogs prove time and time again, nothing's a fucking lock. Everybody wanted to lock Jake Hadley up when Cameron came in on short notice, and Cameron boxed Jake Hadley the fuck up. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody wanted to lock up Robellis to Spain, and Austin Lane dragged him out. Everybody wanted to lock up motherfucking what was her name, man, that was fighting Vanessa Demopoulos when I had her locked in at -3 or plus 300 and plus 290. You know, there is no locks in this game. Everybody locked up Izzy when he fought Sean. You know what I'm talking about? There is no locks in this game. They locked up Amanda when she fought motherfucking Pena. You feel me? People get locked up all the time, man. And shit goes left. You feel me? So it is what it is, man, when it comes to all that. But parlays, man. That's what we here for, you know? Parlay options based off of personal opinions that you do not have to pay for in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Period. It should be a stress-free zone, man. Stress-free zone, because this is all free work, man. This is all free work. You just tapping in over here and seeing where I'm at with it. You're not paying a subscription fee for it. Nobody's forcing your hand. We not monetized in any way, shape, form, or fashion. We not looking for donations. We not asking for likes. We not asking for subscriptions. We not asking for nothing. You stay tapped in or you tap out and go about your business. Peace and blessings. No hard feelings. You understand what I'm saying to you? But, you know, tapping in and trying to come at my neck over these parlays, man, that might have fell short. Because, listen, there's some days it doesn't matter, for me anyway, how I go about structuring these parlays, these swap out options, these all favorites, these dog plays, these prelims, these main cards, these whole cards, haymakers, Hail Marys. Even if it's 3 legs, it doesn't fucking matter. Something goes left and I miss on everything. There's been 40 UFC events since January of 2024. I cashed tickets in some, or just a ticket in some way, shape, form, or fashion on 30 of them. You know what I'm talking about? Last week was a week that I missed everywhere. I missed on the prelims. I missed on the main card. I missed for the whole card, the haymakers, the Hail Marys, the all favorites. Obviously, my swap out options were no good. My dog plays were no good. It was a messy one, man. It was a messy one. Because even if I went all favorites on the main card, that didn't work. When I went all favorites and one dog with song on the main card, that didn't work. You know what I'm talking about? But sometimes that's just how the ball bounces and the cookie crumbles. And we either gonna hit or miss together. You know what I'm talking about? But there should be no stress in it, man. It should be stress free. Stress free. We just tapping in and chopping it up and offering parlay options. You know what I'm talking about? And redundantly expressing the fact that for the most part, these parlay options do not need to be significantly invested into. We have 10 leggers. You can put 10 legs on. We have $10 on. We have 8 leggers. You can put $8. Like you don't have to go crazy. You could take $100 man, and turn your $100 into thousands of motherfucking dollars on a UFC card with proper, parlay placement. Straight like that. You could take a 4-legger and drop 40 on it, a 5-legger and drop 25 on it. That's 65. Take you a 6-legger, drop 30 on it. That's 95. Take you a motherfucking 10-legger and drop motherfucking 5 on it for your haymaker and roll the fucking dice. You got 4 legs that you're highly confident in. You put $40 on them motherfuckers. They're going to bring you back like maybe, 190 plus your 40 or something, so you're looking at like 230 off your 40, but you solid because you're only putting 100 into the card. So if that 40, if you're highly confident in that motherfucker and that 40 secures the bag, well, that little 2 and some change is secure. And if that 4 is 4 legs for your 5 and that 5th leg secures the bag, well, that 25 turns into like motherfucking a nice little, almost 2 something, you know what I'm talking about? And now you got a motherfucking, 6-legger. Those 5 legs already came through. If your 6 leg comes through and you put 30 on it, those 6 legs secure a little bit over 200. You know what I mean? Now you got your little motherfucking $5 left, and you just throw that on an 8-legger, 9-legger, or a 10-legger haymaker. You know what I'm talking about? And that $5 will bring you back a couple $100. Now your $100, if everything came through and did what it needed to do, well, motherfucker 40 got you. Let's just call it 2, and we'll just round them down. We'll say your 40 got you 2, and your motherfucking 25 got you 2. Well, that's 4. Then your 60 got you 2. Well, that's motherfucking 6. You know what I'm talking? I mean, your 30 got you 2. Now that's motherfucking 6. Off of what? $85. You got 40, and you got your motherfucking 25. That's 65, and you got your motherfucking or 95. I mean, it's now off of $95. You done secure 600, and you got a 7, 8, 9, 10-legger, whatever it is, with your $5 on that motherfucker. And if that hits, then that motherfucker secures a couple $100 too. Now you're up just about $1,000 off $100, and you don't have to be too stressed out about it, worrying yourself too crazy because you just put a unit in. You just put a man in there, just a little yard, a little $100. You know what I mean? But you made that $100 shake and do what it needed to do. Because when you're talking about parlays, you don't have to go crazy, man. That's what busts me when individuals talk about, man, I had $250 on that motherfucking 6-legger, and 4 legs secured the bag on the prelims, 1 secured on the main card opener, and that co-main event just killed me, man. Stop it. Stop it. Those 4 legs that secured the bag on the prelim should have had $40 on it, $10 a man. If they was crazy favorites, maybe you put just a couple more dollars on that motherfucker, and then you use them 4 and come on up to the main card. Like, there's ways to go about this shit where you don't have to stretch yourself out crazy, man. You know what I'm talking about? I've hit, boy, oh boy, if I hit just off a light little sprinkles, man. Little $10 and $25 sprinkles. And like I said, when it comes to dog plays, I done hit 6-leggers. You know what I'm talking about? With 3 dogs and 3 favorites, 6 legs, $6 for almost $1,600. You know what I'm talking about? You don't have to put a lot on these motherfuckers. You putting a lot on them because you want to, air that ticket out for 50 fucking grand or something when you cash it, or 30 grand. Everything don't have to be, breaking the fucking house, man. And if you not worried about breaking the house every fucking time, man, and you don't overly commit and heavily invest into these cards, man, you can start to crack these motherfuckers, man. You can start to crack them. See, what you're doing is you don't want to put all these swap out options in and these duplicate tickets in and prelim parlays and main card parlays and whole card parlays because you want to go hard on this one parlay. You have these 5 or 6 individuals that you like and you want to throw a few hundred down just on them. So now it's like I can't see myself throwing another, few hundred down and just swapping out one fight and then going down to the prelims and dropping like and going to the main card. That's because you going too crazy for no reason, man. You know what I'm talking about? When I was heavily invested into a card, I had like 250 on the prelims. You know what I mean? And probably like another 250 on the main card. And then maybe like a good solid 150 in the whole card. You feel what I'm saying to you? 650. And that was like the biggest investment that I put into a card. But I almost hit for $30,000. You understand what I'm saying to you? You're talking about that was the night with the prelims, man. You know what I mean? You're talking about a prelim obliteration, 7 legs, 4 favorites, 3 dogs at plus 290, 180, and 130. You know what I'm talking about? And I dropped a little grip on that motherfucker. I should have dropped the whole unit on there. I dropped a half a unit on that bitch. Had I dropped the whole unit on that bitch, just that ticket would have paid out almost 30 something grand. But that ticket at a half a unit paid out motherfucking 14,000 and some change, man. $14,000 and some change off of 50 fucking dollars, man. You know what I'm talking about? Then I had a $25 bet. A $25 bet. That was the whole card. I missed on my main card that night. You know what I'm talking about? I had some $50 plays, $5 leg, 5 legs, $50. I had some plays up on the main card, just like I had plays down on the prelims. Then I had a couple plays for the whole card. You know what I'm talking about? And that prelim, them fucking 4 favorites and 3 dogs smacked. Prelims was over. We up over $11,000 going into the main card. Tickets all over the place, still live. I mean, I was losing my fucking mind. $50, half a man, half a unit, huh? On 7 legs, spun over and over fucking 14 grand and some motherfucking change, man. Over 14 grand and some change. It was 11. My bad. The haymaker was 11. It was 14 grand. I think it was like 14,800, if I'm not mistaken, around there. You feel what I'm saying to you? And then when we came into the main card, my haymaker, I had 2 of them, but one of them was those 7 legs and 1 more leg on the main card with $25 on that motherfucker, and that bitch was going to hit for around 11,000 and some motherfucking change, and boy, oh boy, did that hit. The rest of my shit fell apart, but who the fuck cares? I hit a motherfucking ticket for over 14 grand, and I hit a motherfucking ticket for over 11 grand. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that shit was off a half a man, and that shit was off a quarter man. So you talking about $75. I invested $650 into the car, but $75 turned into almost motherfucking 30,000. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, you don't have to go crazy. You feel what I'm saying to you? It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? It's a parlay channel. They parlay options and personal opinions. So, try not to go too crazy on me if something falls short. You know what I mean? Peace and blessings.